Hello and welcome back to Realm of Thrones, and we're still being pursued by these wonderful vassals from the north? Yeah, it is from the north. I actually thought that there might be some free houses people there as well, but yeah, you can quite clearly tell they really want to murder us. Unfortunately, we do have 42% HP, so it might actually be one of those things where we might have some issues. We might actually have some issues surviving this, but we do have a bunch of giants, don't we? We do have a bunch of giants. Alright, so I've read your comments. Don't worry about it. I know. Alright, what we're going to do is, considering we're taking so many people prisoner, we're actually going to be doing a little bit of converting. And we're going to try to utilize some extra units as much as we possibly can. Now, obviously, it might take me a bit of time to actually get those units incorporated into our army, because obviously the higher tier the unit is, the longer it is going to take. So obviously that's going to be a bit of a problem, but it's fine. We've got enough time, and hopefully we're going to be alright doing that. Anyway, I'm just going to tell everyone to charge in right here. Just everyone charging in. We kind of need to make the most of what we have available. So in other words, just try to close in on the opponent as much as we possibly can, because they've got a lot of bowmen right now. As you can see, they have a lot of ranged units. Kind of need to deal with those as best we can. Jamie has already been killed. Well, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised, really. You know, he had a very small amount of HP, and he's going to run in there. And yeah, you know, it's to be expected, of course. It is to be expected. So yeah, anyway, we're going to do something where we're going to try to get as many cavalry units as possible. So basically any single cavalry unit that is a decent level. So I'm talking about probably tier 5, maybe even tier 4 and above. Not sure about tier 4s. Very much depends what kind of unit it is. Like, for example, these House Mormont Elite Mounted Huntresses. I know someone actually said, hey, you know what? You really like these units. Maybe you want to get them in your army. And yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's do it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. I will try to get them in my army, and we'll see how that goes, because from what I've seen so far, it takes a long time to try and, you know, convert these guys. And usually I feel like it's maybe a better idea for me to just go over to Lorne and basically just get giants. Just get a bunch of giants from there. Wait there for a few days and just continually recruit giants from that particular village, because giants are just amazing, you know, as we can quite clearly tell. You know, they're very, very strong. And I think I obviously haven't played the updated version of Realm of Thrones. I'm thinking, hey, you know what, maybe we want to, you know, give it a look-see. You know, maybe we want to check it out. Obviously it is not save game compatible, so I will not be able to bring this particular army, this particular character, and so on and so forth forward into that version, which is very, very sad in my opinion. I always feel like it's actually super sad when that kind of thing happens, but you know, things happen. And you know, generally now that the game has been fully released, we do have the ability to now pretty much have a bit more of a stable modding environment. So you're going to see a lot of total conversion mods actually being released now, where they have been updated to the full version, and then most likely you're not really going to have any issues with compatibility. Although I have seen some people, you know, in the comments, they've been saying, hey, I can't get this mod installed. I don't know how that works. So I'm gonna see what I can do about making a tutorial on that. I mean, should be pretty simple, I think, maybe. I'm actually not entirely sure. I mean, it seemed to be working pretty simple for me. But what I would recommend is, if you're one of those people that is having a bit of a problem with installing Realm of Thrones, or any mod for that matter, I'd highly recommend checking the load order, making sure that load order is relatively similar to what I have in the description. And there was that was a very close lag right there. Okay, let me. Am I jinxing myself by saying, oh yes, my install is okay? Yeah, let's be a little bit careful on that. Anyway, point is, as I say, load order is pretty important. If you take a look at the description, it's exactly if you copy mine and you basically don't use any other mods, with the exception of what I'm using, then you should be you should be fine. You know, the only problem that you might face is with Chaos's Tweaks, because sometimes Chaos's Tweaks, if you're using that, of course, if you just want Realm of Thrones to work and you don't want anything else, you don't want anything extracurricular, then all I would recommend is Super Speed and Realm of Thrones. You don't really need anything else if you want to play, you know, purely just to get the game running. You know, just to make sure that it's not going to crash or anything like that. So I'd recommend Load Order. The one that I have in the description is probably going to work for you relatively nicely. And then apart from that, just making sure that all of the files are unblocked. That's it. Those are the most important things. And also maybe using Butter Loader Launcher. Butter Loader Launcher is also linked in the description, or it should be. And that's pretty easy to install, and then it should work for you, no problem. But if it doesn't, then that's fine. I'm going to come out with a tutorial on how to install mods in general, so hopefully that might help you out as well. Anyway, let's take these guys prisoner. Why not? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take all of them prisoner, as much as we possibly can, at least. And, oh, there we go. This guy got himself rescued, which is actually quite nice. And here we go. We're going to take some of these. And we're going to take some of these, and some of these, and what else do we have here? Do we have any more tier 5s? We do have some of... Wait a minute. Do these actually become... I need to actually have a look. Yeah, they do. They do actually become mounted units, but the unfortunate thing about this is that they're going to require mounts, and I'm not entirely sure if I have mounts at the moment. So I'm going to take them, but if we don't have a huge amount of horses available for them, then I'm just gonna let them go or whatever. But yeah, let's just take a quick look. I want to make sure that we're not missing out on a lot of things. You got to bear in mind here, I don't really, that's the thing. Whenever I don't take prisoners, it's purely for the fact that I just don't want to wait around. I don't want to wait around. I don't want to slow myself down any further than I already have by having a significant amount of giants. And for me personally, I'm actually wondering whether I should just take these giants and put them somewhere and just recruit regular units and then just get giants from the village. I think that might actually make a little bit more sense, because as it stands right now, we're having some big issues actually just, you know, moving around and indeed converting them. Converting them is quite difficult because they are quite high tier. And, you know, as I said, it does take a long time to convert these kinds of people. So I'm not entirely sure. Oh, yeah. Also, I want to just mention that Hodor, right? Hodor, he was having trouble recruiting units. Yes, indeed, he was. However, someone actually said I should give him units. All right? I should give him units. I should donate troops to him. And the funny thing is, I did try to do that. I did actually try to do that in a previous episode. But for some reason, there was no option to give him units. I don't know why. I'm not entirely sure why that was the case, but yeah, there was nothing I could do about that, unfortunately. So yeah. Anyway, there's that. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're just going to execute all these guys, and then we are going to move on to the Fist of the First Men, because obviously it is now under siege once again. We're having some huge problems just literally taking control of everything. But here's the thing. You got to think about the overall big picture, because if you're taking a look at the big picture here, we're not actually doing that badly, because if you think about it, well, think about, you know, the vassals that we're fighting. We're taking them prisoner almost every single time. We're taking a lot of them prisoner every single time, and they can't really do much to stop us, and that's one of the biggest advantages we have. We are quite clearly relatively unstoppable, with the exception, of course, of the fact that maybe we're going to go into a battle with, you know, an army of, you know, if there's an army of over 2,000 or something like that, I think we'll probably have some issues there. But for example, this army right here, I can pretty much just fast forward this. This guy's literally not gonna be able to survive that long. But the point is, every single time we besiege something or we take people prisoner, we are fundamentally making them weaker over time, and we're making it so that they cannot possibly fight against us next time around whenever we see them. Because obviously, if we do take someone prisoner, it's more than likely he's not going to be there again. whoever it is not going to be there again, because we are going to execute them, of course. We're going to execute them. We're going to make sure that they are never seen in these lands ever again. And as a result, we fundamentally, as I just said, we fundamentally weaken them permanently. And that's the reason why executing people is actually really, really useful. But of course, you've then got to think about the fact that, well, executing people is, well, let's just say, you know, very destructive, if I can call it that. Because let's face it, literally, if you're, you know, executing every single person you come across, you're going to make everyone hate you, which is exactly what is happening to me right now. I mean, you can quite clearly tell that. Every single person has negative 100 relation with me. Hilariously enough, Hodor is gaining relation with me every single time I defeat an enemy, which is actually kind of nice. So he's never going to leave us by the looks of things, but I don't know whether that really matters, because he's just getting himself taken prisoner almost all the time, which is kind of sad. But what I'll tell you I'll do is, if I see Hodor again, I'm going to try and capture him. Oh, hello. Gregor is here. Is he faster than me? Oh, wow, you're making a huge error, sir. Why did he go in and fight these looters? That is super weird. The AI sometimes does some strange stuff, as you can see. Look at this. That is really, really weird. All right, we're just going to go in for an auto-resolve right there. I mean, literally just one guy. It's going to be super easy to defeat, but there you go. Okay, we can get some Night's Watch. Ooh, Northern... Wow, look at that. Northern Mounted Warlords. They seem fun, don't they? They seem fun. All right, yeah, that's pretty cool. Are there any others? Are there any other things that we might want to get? As I said to you, I'm basically just going to be getting cavalry as much as I possibly can, and then we're just going to move on. And so far, everything seems to be going quite nicely. I do have another fief over there that is under siege, but I'm not sure if do I want to continue? Oh, see, now this is the problem, you see. The fact that I have no allies whatsoever. And that's the funny thing. I know that someone actually mentioned a long time ago, someone mentioned, you should probably get some friends within, you know, Dragonstone or within other factions so that you can, you know, possibly have a decent chance of survival when you break away from Dragonstone. And yeah, that's actually usually a really good idea. However, the main problem comes when you start executing everyone, because it doesn't matter how much relation you actually have, they're literally just gonna go splat. You know, the relations are just gonna go all over the place, and everyone's gonna start hating you no matter what. So that's kind of sad. But we did actually, oh yeah, I remember now. Okay, so that's the funny thing. Hodor is not the only vassal that we have in our service. That's something I actually forgot about, because when you make a clan, you inevitably also generate a couple of extra people. So for example, as you can see here, this guy is part of the Hodor clan, hilariously enough. And you could see here, as I said to you before, I can't actually do anything when it comes to you know, donating units or anything like that. There's something I wish to discuss. Our realms should make peace. Okay. I wanted to transfer. Actually, wait a minute. Maybe I can transfer her, because then I would be executing one of the most powerful Vale vassals ever, which might actually be cool. So yeah, let's actually have her be transferred. And he only has 14,000. So let's give him 100,000. Not 10,000, there we go. Let's give him 100,000, and he's going to transfer the prisoner to us, which is absolutely fantastic. And here we go. Okay, so we've got a bunch of people now. So yeah, anyway, back to the original point that I was trying to make. Basically, it's a good idea. Don't get me wrong. It's a good idea to try and foster good relationships with every single person that you can before you break away from your faction. But of course, the main way that we're actually able to progress and actually make headway in some way or another is by executing. Because if we didn't do that, as I said to you in an earlier episode, we'd basically just be attacked over and over again. And it would be very, very difficult for us to make any kind of, you know, progress whatsoever. It would be very, very difficult. So That's the main reason why I generally tend to prefer doing executions. But as I say, that basically means that you cannot at all have any friends anywhere else, which is really sad in my opinion, you know, because obviously you want to try and get as many friends as possible, you want to try and get as many allies as possible so that people start joining you, and then you can actually start sweeping over the land with a massive amount of vassals in tow, and you're going to have a much easier time of things instead of how it is for me right now, where I'm basically doing it by myself, which obviously is awful. So yeah, that's it is making things much more difficult than it would have to be, but you know how it is. Sometimes you just have to kind of try it out and see what happens. Anyway, I think we're actually not doing too badly. I'm gonna go over to Lawn. You know what? You know what I'm actually gonna do? I'm gonna let these giants go. That's the thing. I don't want to put them in Then. If I put them in Then, then they are an incredibly lucrative target, but Then does have 564 defenders in there, so maybe it's actually not even too bad. We got a bunch of people attempting to raid our villages, or recruiting from villages and things. That guy's running away way too fast for me. This guy is attempting to besiege. That's absolutely fine. These guys can besiege as much as they possibly want to. They are indeed mercenaries as well, but this is pretty much a cleanup. You know, we're trying to clean all these guys up, trying to make sure that they don't encroach on our territory even further than they already have. But of course, this is very much a case of something that my vassals should be doing. I'm going to take a look actually at Hodor's clan. Yeah, he has 3 people inside it, and as you can see, he's only clan tier 2, which is oh yeah, that's really bad, isn't it? All right, I'm just gonna give him some influence, why not? But yeah, that's very sad, isn't it? Okay, yeah, but as I said to you and as I showed you, I can't actually give him units, or I cannot give the person that I just spoke to units. Maybe I'm going to be able to give Hodor units. I highly doubt it, but maybe I'll be able to. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see, 293 over there at the garrison, so that's absolutely fine. But Craster's Keep, which is not mine, only has 57 defenders, so I'd have to put some units in there if we wanted it to be slightly more well defended, but I don't know. I was kind of hoping that maybe he would do that, you know? I was kind of hoping that maybe Mr. Mr. Hodor would actually end up doing that, but oh well, never mind. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the dungeon. We're just going to put these giants in here. I'm going to take out a couple of these northern mounted warlords, and I'm not going to take the other cavalry units or anything like that. We're just going to put the giants in there. And I think that's pretty much all I want to do here, to be honest. Look at the loyalty. The loyalty is absolutely fantastic. I'd actually like to start building some additional things here as well. So I'm thinking what we're probably going to do is we'll probably get this done. This is going to take 26 days. Let's actually just get a whole bunch of things queued up. It's going to take a long time, but hopefully it will be worth it in the end. And now we're going to be moving a lot faster, you see, because we've gotten rid of a lot of potential slowdown in the form of the giants, because obviously they're going to be very, very slow to run around. And it seems like Craster's Keep. Okay, what is going on here? The game is really making me into some kind of jester, I believe. They're making fun of me right now, because you can see. Did you see who literally just decided to besiege Craster's Keep? I don't know whether you saw that, but it's Mir. Yes. People from Mir have decided to come over here and try to besiege us, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. I have no idea what is even happening with that, because if I actually take a look, I'm just going to show you, because obviously I mean, if you know about Game of Thrones, if you know about that kind of stuff, geography and all that stuff in the world of Westeros, Essos, etc., then you'll know exactly where Mir is. But here it is. It is all the way down here in Essos, and they've made their way all the way up here. I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that they went all the way up here. They must have a fief somewhere else, surely. Because if not, then I am flabbergasted. Absolutely flabbergasted. I have no idea. No, no, no. It does look as though they have literally come all the way up here. Okay, that's really weird. I wouldn't have expected them to do that in a million years. Oh, well. Yeah, okay. So Mir is obviously owned by the Dornish right now. So I need to actually select the second one. There we go. Okay, so this guy, what does he actually own? Let me have a look here. Can we actually see what he owns? He doesn't own anything by the looks of things. What? Oh, he doesn't own anything. Right. Okay, so he actually doesn't own anything, and that's the main reason why he has come up here. Okay, so that's the reason why he is besieging Crastus Keep, because he needs to do this to be able to survive, I assume. So we're just going to make our way over there and see what we can do. Maybe we're going to be able to take him out, and then he's hopefully going to leave us alone. If we execute their leader, then maybe that's gonna tell them, you know, just go away, please. Oh no, it seems like they actually stopped besieging it. Oh, okay. Well, that's absolutely fine. I guess I will go and take Hornfoot then. Oh, it's been besieged now again. Ah, yes, what a wonderful, wonderful thing it is. Yes, oh well, never mind. I'm going to be besieging this by myself. You don't have to stay here for this, because this is going to be a pretty simple one. We don't really need to worry about it. Hodor has once again been taken prisoner, and someone else as well. Alright, so I've placed some units in the garrison of Hornfoot, so it has a decent-ish garrison, nothing too amazing, of course, because I can't really spare a huge amount, because we still need to have some kind of offensive power. But I'm going to be giving this to Hodor. I'm going to try and power him up as much as possible. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get him more ways of earning renown. You know, hopefully he's going to be able to get some good renown from this. And otherwise, we're just going to be heading on to Crastus Keep here. 137 units. I'm hopeful that what I'll be able to do is maybe... Oh, hello. Okay, wait a minute. Ramsay Snow. Haha, hello here. Alright, let's have a look-see. Oh, he's got a decent army. Alright, yeah, let's do it. I'm actually looking forward to taking this guy on. So, let me see. Let me just recruit some more people here. And let's go straight on in. Yeah, so this is going to be a bit of a difficult one. As you can see, this guy is pretty much outnumbering us quite a bit. Not sure where we're going to be fighting. Please don't fight in the valley again. I would prefer it if we didn't fight in the valley. Okay, we are fighting in the... Oh, I have no idea what's going on with the valley, but yeah, it seems like this area is just generally valley territory, which is absolutely fine. We're going to tell everyone to charge in, mostly. I don't think... how many cavalry do we have even? I don't even know. I think we... Oh, we have 34? Really? I'm actually surprised... Oh, no, we only have 13. Never mind. That was the distance. I was reading it wrong. Oh, well, never mind. Yeah, we have 13, which is pretty terrible, all things considered. But it's fine. I'm going to tell my cavalry to follow me. Because if they had 34, I'd basically just allow them to charge in. But no, they don't. Anyway, the enemy has 334 on the battlefield. So this is obviously going to be a little bit of a problematic situation if we allow them to... murder us too easily, but I wonder whether they're going to do that anti-cavalry formation again. That would be pretty funny if they do, but I don't think so. Oh, yes. Oh, and Elias has actually leveled up. Very nice indeed. Ah, that is exactly what I wanted to see. It's been a long time since we have had a level up from him, that's for sure, so it would be really nice if we could actually do that. Let me see if I can get some kills with my thrown weapons. It's been a long time since I've actually leveled up my thrown weapons too, so I'd like to get a little bit of that. And let me tell my cavalry to charge in now. Just going to try and randomly throw things here, because obviously this is the best way that you can get thrown weapon proficiency. I mean, generally the best way to do it is to run at fastest speed that you can handle. Obviously, me doing that right now is not going to happen because we're on a hill and, you know, the battlefield is not very conducive to that kind of thing, but generally, the best way to do it would be to be on some kind of battlefield that is flat and have a massive congregation of units in one smattering, you know, very closely packed together like they are right here, in fact, but just a slightly flatter battlefield. That would have made all the difference in the world. But we're getting some really nice kills here as well, which I got to say I'm very much appreciating. And personally, I feel like we're going to be absolutely fine. I don't think we'll have too many difficulties here. The free houses, I'm very, very surprised, have not been eliminated yet, but that just means that we're going to have to execute them all. Indeed, we will have to execute them all, and then we'll see exactly what's going on with them. But yeah, as it stands, the free folk obviously are just really wanting peace with us as well. I received another peace offer from them, but of course, we cannot do that. We need to make sure that we take all of their fiefs. But the fact that we're getting attacked by literal people that should be in Essos, that is insanity. You know, they're literally just going up here, just being like, hello, I've come all the way from Essos to say hello to you. And that is, that's a little bit ridiculous. But, you know, if they don't have anywhere, which they don't, we've already confirmed that, the vassals from Mir do not have any fiefs. So it makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense for them to try and have some kind of opportunistic fashion about their actions, to try and take something that is weakened. And indeed, they were trying to take Krasner's Keep, of course. But Hodor was actually strong enough, apparently, to be able to fight those off at the time. But unfortunately, this time around, he wasn't strong enough to fight off Ramsay Snow. So unfortunately, he was eliminated. But this is the army, I believe, that did eliminate him. And so, as a result of me actually doing this battle, we should be getting Hodor and releasing him. Or at least I can only hope that to be the case. Anyway, we're just going to be taking every single one of these prisoner. Oh, we didn't actually get him? Okay. I'm actually wondering, did Hodor actually get taken prisoner or not? Because now I'm thinking that maybe he didn't. Okay, well that's interesting. Anyway, I'm going to be taking, again, as I said before, we're going to be basically taking every single prisoner that is a cavalry unit that is about tier 4, tier 5 or above, something like that. Not sure if I want to take the camels. I'm not sure how fast camels actually are, but I guess we will take them because they are mounted. And otherwise, there we go. Very nice. Got to make sure that we keep an eye on our prisoner capacity as well, because I really don't want to have a huge amount, because they're otherwise going to make things much slower than they have to be. And you could see here already, if I take a look at my actual speed, we are slowed by 0.25. That is actually not that bad, but if you think about it in terms of, well, I'm moving at 1.0 right now, which is technically the slowest that you can move as far as I'm aware, then, you know, it is pretty significant. Anyway, let me just take a quick look here. Throwing axes, no. We're going to be taking the +2 ammunition for throwing weapons, because obviously I'm not using throwing axes. And otherwise, we also have a wonderful medicine perk to spend. Okay, we're going to be taking pristine streets, I believe. That sounds pretty good to me. And then otherwise, we're just going to be going for our last point in engineering, and we will be going for another point in intelligence. There we go. That sounds pretty good. Alright, so apart from that, we do have a person over there from the Night's Watch. I was actually hoping that the Night's Watch would actually do a little bit more to kind of attack people in and around this area. But apparently they're not wanting to do that for some reason. It's a little bit sad, but yes. Mr. Sand also does need to possibly become a vassal, so I'm thinking we might actually make him into a vassal too. But I need to take something to be able to give it to him. I mean, technically I could give him Fist of the First Men, couldn't I? Technically I could do that. I mean, how much am I actually getting from it? Not even that much. I'm not even getting that much. So maybe it would be an idea. Yeah, why not? Why not? Okay. We're going to speak to him and see what we can do. Let me see if I can... yeah, there we go. There we go. Fist of the First Men. There we are. And there we have it. And we're going to call him... oh, I have no idea. Oh, I am terrible. I am terrible with names, as you might know. Roy. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Wonderful. Okay, yeah, so there we are. That is great. And now he is a new vassal. And I'm going to speak to him just so that I can show you what I can do with him. As you can see, I cannot give him troops. As you see here, I can basically just transfer prisoners to him. I can give him money, which is exactly what I did with Hodor as well. I gave Hodor 500,000 gold. and you see exactly what he's doing with it. He's not really doing much. So I'm going to give Mr. Sand, I'm going to give him 100,000, and hopefully he's going to be able to do something decent with it. And otherwise, we are going to now besiege this town. 821 units are here. I'm feeling pretty positive that we can maybe take this, but it's been a while since we've done something like this. Oh yeah, I also need to execute all these guys. Let me just take out Mr. Snow first, or Mr. Well, should we say not Mr. Snow, because I could be confused for Jon Snow there, but yeah, let's just take out Ramsay there, and otherwise we will eliminate the rest of them too. And then we shouldn't have to worry too much about the free houses any further, I don't think, at least. Because a lot of these are actually mercenaries. And while I did defeat a couple of free houses while I was a vassal of Dragonstone, I actually did not see fit to execute them at the time. Which kind of makes me a bit sad now, because it would have been great for me to execute them at the time. That would have been making everything a lot easier for me now, but yeah, then they would have just, hated me a lot earlier, which would maybe have been a bit detrimental. But whatever the case, we're just going to go straight on in. We're going to go straight on in. We're going to see what happens. Maybe I'm actually going to be able to get onto the battlements without needing to destroy their catapults. But the problem that I'm foreseeing right now is that the catapults are probably going to do massive damage to my giants, which I'm hoping that they won't, but I'm a bit worried about that. But yeah, anyway, the point is I just don't want to spend a huge amount of time doing that, because time is actually one of the most important things we've got to consider most of the time when actually doing any kind of siege, because we really we don't want some other army coming along and basically saying, hello there, and please stop doing what you're doing. We don't want that kind of thing to happen. So that's the reason why I kind of want to go in here straight away, but hopefully I'm not going to get myself killed in the process. These guys are actually trying to corner me, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm just going to try and do some damage here. Maybe I can survive if I just stay next to my giants. It seems like everything's going not too badly, surprisingly enough, but you've got to bear in mind, obviously, the free folk are very lightly armored. So they're probably going to die in most likely one hit almost all the time if my giants can actually get decent spacing. But obviously that is if. That is a big if most of the time. As you can see, these guys are making things difficult. I kind of feel like this mace should crush through blocks. I kind of feel like it should crush through blocks, but it doesn't. From what I can tell, as you can see, I'm doing an overhead and it doesn't crush. So that's a bit weird, because I would have expected it to crush, considering it is a giant's weapon, right? I mean, it should really crush through, but oh well, never mind. I guess it's not too bad. I mean, it does a lot of damage anyway. It doesn't even have a bonus against shields, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, that's a bit weird, but oh well, never mind. Anyway, I think I'm probably just gonna wait here, and I'm just gonna let my giants do their thing. I'm just gonna speed things up real fast, just to kind of get these guys out the way. Okay, apparently me speeding it up doesn't make any difference. There are unlimited amounts of enemies that we have to fight. Alright, let me see if I can do some damage here then. Try and clear them out a little. I mean, I'm obviously not really doing that much in comparison to my giants, but still. Anyway, there we go. There we go. We finally cleared out the area. There we go. That guy's gone as well. Thank you. Alright, so we've eliminated... Wow, we literally lost only 3 units. Yeah. Should have taken this a long time ago, right? Yeah, I was really, really worried about this, but no, I shouldn't have been worried. This is a lot easier than anticipated, but I think the last time that I attempted to take this, they actually built ballistas, and I was really worried about the ballistas, because when I retook Hornfoot earlier in this episode, obviously I didn't show that, but when I retook it, it actually had massive amounts of ballistas on the walls, and they killed about 12 of my giants, or maybe even more than that, and they only had 2 of them. They only had 2 of them up, so you can imagine how much it would have been if they had all 4 ballistas, and maybe maybe we built some siege engines or something like that. I don't know, but generally I feel like siege ladders are actually still a pretty decent option, surprisingly enough. You wouldn't think so, considering, but I think it it does make a pretty big difference. Being able to just very quickly go into a particular fief, take it before the enemy is even prepared, and, well, take the battlements before they prepare, and then just go through the streets and try to deal damage and do whatever you can to achieve victory as easily as possible. But, yeah, this two-handed is... Oh, look at that guy. Oh, he went flying. That was hilarious. Oh, I love that. Any single time that kind of thing happens, I absolutely love that. It doesn't happen enough, in my opinion. I think it should happen a little bit more. But obviously, you know, Bannerlord is not a... You know, it's not focused on making the ragdolls hilarious, of course. There are games out there that try to focus on that kind of thing, but Bannerlord's trying to be a bit more... You know, a bit more realistic. A bit more realistic in its ragdolls. But sometimes there are some super funny moments, and I absolutely adore those. They are so fun. They are really fun to see. Especially when they, you know, when the enemy just goes flying from like a ranged thrown weapon or something like that. I always find that very funny. But unfortunately, some of the time it doesn't even happen because you don't have enough damage. You know, if you hit them for, what, 400, 500 damage, then all of a sudden they're just... You know, they're just going across the floor super funnily. But yeah, anyway, we can probably just fast forward to the end here. And there's only 20 enemies remaining. Seems like a bunch of them are actually running, which I do not blame them for one bit. I really don't blame them for that. And as you can see, my giants literally got 700 of the eliminations out of 792. So my giants literally did every single thing in this particular siege. And I mean, you might expect that, of course, because let's face it, they are the most prevalent of the units that I'm using right now. So it's kind of to be expected, I guess. Anyway, I'm not going to be taking anything here because I personally don't really like the free folk units, with the exception of the Berserker Cannibal units. I think that they are really good. But the rest I can, you know, take or leave. I don't really mind them, you know, just chilling out and not really coming with me or anything. But yes, apart from that, we're just going to be taking all of the cavalry and just going to be leaving those guys in there. There we go. And otherwise, we're going to manage the town too. So let's actually do that. We're just going to put a whole bunch. Look at this. They've actually upgraded it significantly. Very nice to see that. And I think I probably will go into the marketplace here. I have a significant, and I'm talking massive, amount of loot. As you can see, look at this. I literally have, what, 90,000 in loot almost immediately. And I mean, literally, look at that. I didn't even, I took all of his money. I took all his money, and I still had more. You know, I have an insane amount of loot right now, which is just crazy. I feel like actually selling loot from battle should maybe give you roguery skill, because technically you're you know, looting the enemy and their bodies and so on and so forth for any gear, and it's kind of a bit roguish, I guess, to kind of do that. I don't know, but whatever the case, no, we're not going to be making peace with the free houses. Thank you very much. That is not going to happen anytime soon. And otherwise, there we go. We've actually taken FROSTFANG'S camp, which is really good. Now, what we're going to do is, hopefully in the next episode, we're going to go over to Hardhome. We're going to take that, then we'll take Crestus Keep back once again, and then we're going to have to deal with the wall itself. Castle Black is something I'm very much looking forward to. I'd love to see what kind of siege layout that has, and hopefully you're looking forward to that too. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.